All right. This is going to be a fun video to do. Mike Tyson said he will whoop Floyd Mayweather Jr. It wouldn't even be a fight. And how great can you be if you need protection to take your kids to school? Hey, Mike Tyson says a lot of crazy stuff. And, you know, he's kind of here and there, hit or miss. But this time, he hit it. He hit the nail on the head. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And also, I want to say thank you very much to the people that leave comments on the videos. Watch the video all the way to the end and leave a comment, ask a question. It is very, very greatly appreciated. Also, because that way you actually know what I say and you know what my point is, right? And then I ain't got to keep going back and forth with you and say, did you watch the video, right? Anyway, I appreciate you guys. And also thank you to everybody that supports in the live streams Monday through Friday. OG Boxing Talk on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. with myself, Kurt Anderson, KQKC Boxing and Blood Boxing. Also, thank you to everybody that supports Finance Business Politics on Patreon. Now, let's get into this. Mike Tyson, former heavyweight champion. One of the best heavyweights ever. One of them. You know, people can debate where he falls on that line, but at one point in time, clearly the head honcho in boxing. Clearly, one of the mega stars in the history of boxing. One of the biggest mega stars in the history of boxing. Right? You go from the beginning, you know, the very beginning of international boxing competitions. You had, you know, the time you can't leave Tom Krebs and Melanor out of that conversation in the late 1700s. You know, obviously you have the drama around Jack Johnson. Then you had Jack Dempsey. You have Joe Louis. You have Muhammad Ali. And then after Muhammad Ali, you got Mike Tyson. Okay, those are the guys, the champions that became bigger than the sport. Bigger than the sport. That's Mike Tyson. And then after Mike Tyson, there's a bit of an anomaly. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. says he's the TBE, the best ever. And I have always taken issue with that because I believe that these hypothetical comparisons are always just hypothetical. And when you're talking about little guys being greater than the bigger guys, it's always difficult to argue with me because I'll always just go to the who would win the fight, right? So obviously real boxing fans know, you know, when you say right now, who wins a fight? And I mean right now, who wins a fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson? Only a absolute and complete Floyd Mayweather sycophant would think that it would, or devotee, or fanboy, or man fan, whatever name you want to attach to anybody that could possibly think this. Anybody but that would know Mike Tyson will decapitate Floyd Mayweather Jr. If you have to wonder why, then you might need to evaluate your whole thought process about the sport of boxing. But let me explain to you why. And for the people that know why and say you don't have to point that out, what is obvious doesn't need to be explained. No, man. To some of these people, what is obvious needs to be explained. Mike Tyson is too big and too strong for Floyd Mayweather Jr. He will walk up to him, hit him in the arm, and knock him. He might knock him out with a shot to the elbow. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but there's literally nothing Floyd Mayweather Jr. could do at that size to Mike Tyson. So when Mike Tyson says it's no competition, wouldn't even be a match, that's obvious. It's the same thing that David Benavidez said about his sparring with Sean Porter. Yeah, I sparred him, but I wasn't really trying to hurt him. He's just a little dude. He's too small. If I said Jose, I meant David Benavidez. I hope I didn't say Jose Benavidez. David Benavidez is fighting Andre Durrell for the 168-pound championship, and he's a big 168-pounder. If this was not the modern era, he would be fighting at a light heavyweight. He would be a traditional light heavyweight against a welterweight. Okay, that's a big difference. David Benavidez would hurt Sean Porter, and their relative skill sets are not going to save him. Okay, it's not going to save him. So that's the same concept with Floyd and Mayweather. Now, here's the other side of it. And I think the more important side of it, when we talk about greatness, because you could say, greatness could have something to do, something other than what actually happens in the ring. It can be what your influence in boxing is and what your status is outside of the sport of boxing, right? For Floyd Mayweather, they often talk about how much money he's made. Now, if you want to talk about who is the biggest money earner in the sport of boxing, and you leave aside things like the real value of money, okay, the real value of money. Now, let me explain what the real value of money is. Real value of money is what you can do with the money that you have, okay? What you can do with the money that you have. So, for example, if I make $100 and, if I made $100 in 1960, but that $100 was enough to buy me everything that I needed, right? Or just I'll do percentages. If what I needed, if I have $100, but I can buy what would cost somebody now, I can buy $10,000 worth of stuff with that 100 in 1960. If the same value of the products that I could buy in 1960 would now cost me $10,000 in 2020, then the real value of the money of that $100 is $10,000, right? Because that's the real value. In 1960, right, I could buy what could buy for $100 in 1960 would cost me $10,000 now. Obviously, that's a gross exaggeration, right? But you would have to get into that to see who made the most money. Right? Was it Jack Dempsey or was it Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Very well might be Floyd Mayweather Jr., but it might be Jack Dempsey. You have to do some type of analysis of the value of their dollars at the time. But what Mike Tyson did is he pointed to something else. He said, if you're so great, how come you can't go pick up your kids from school without bodyguards? That goes to people's perception of you in society. So for example, Pele, the great footballer. If you're from the UK, you call him a footballer. Here in the United States, we call him a soccer player. But from Brazil, I do believe he won multiple World Cups, right? One of the greatest footballers in history. I'm not a soccer or football fan, so I can't tell you where he is relative to these other great guys. But at a point in time, he was the best, most out of Brazil. He was a walking god. Like Charles Martin says, I walk this earth like a god. That's how Pele walked in Brazil. And Brazil, if you don't know, has some of the roughest ghettos, roughest areas in the world. And where you can get robbed for a show. He was in a neighborhood without a bodyguard. Somebody robbed him. This is the story that I recall. Somebody robbed him. They found out that he was Pele, and they gave him his money back and apologized. I'm sorry. If I would have known that was you, I would have never done it. Muhammad Ali could walk the streets in any neighborhood, any area, in any lower income black area in the country, walk around and mobs around him, hugging him, go champ, all that. They would not lay a finger on that man. Floyd Mayweather Jr. goes to a nightclub and has somebody following him around, popping holes in his trunk. He needs 6'9", 6'10" cats surround him at all time because he's not very liked by the people in the community. People came to see him fight, but he is not loved. So I thought that was a very astute point by Mike Tyson, who said this guy is crazy for saying he's as great as Muhammad Ali. And I agree with him. I think he's spot on about that. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a great fighter, without a doubt, highly skilled in the ring, one of the most skilled, most talented fighters I've seen in my life, without a doubt. Highly successful in achieving what he wanted to achieve in the sport of boxing. But as an actual fighter in the ring against the great big heavyweights and cats bigger than him, he's not going to beat all those guys. And money, the amount of money and wealth that you have, do not necessarily equate to greatness as defined by love and appreciation. Now, there's a saying in one of these movies that I really do like. I'm a nerd, and I watched all the Harry Potter movies, and I read all the books. And there was this one line that this wand maker named Ollivander uses about the evil guy in the video. And he said, this guy's done great things. Terrible, but great. So there is an argument to be made that just his notoriousness and dislike makes him great in the definition of large, defined by large. But if you're talking about the type of great meant by admiration and love in your community, no. Tyson Fury has a great point there. And even Mike Tyson, who's had his ups and downs and said a bunch of crazy stuff, and by the hardcore fans in boxing, there's still a very fond remembrance of Mike Tyson through the 80s, through the 90s, and his popularity and his affection that people had for Mike Tyson still resonates, not at the level of an Ali, but he's somebody that can really speak to it. And I thought that was a very, very good quote from him in GQ. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What is your theory about the, Mike Tyson greatness, Ali greatness? Is it purely the love, but can it also be a notoriety? Do you think that, the actual ability to beat all these people in the ring should come into play? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace. I got my piece backwards. I did that. Peace.